बराए ताजील ज़हूर इमाम ज़माना बाज़ बुलंद सलावत। मौला हुसैन के हवाले से मनक़बत के चंद अशार आपके समातों की नज़र पेश खिदमत है। एक और सलवात पढ़ दीजिए मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद। जान मांगो मैं दिल नहीं दूंगा, जान मांगो मैं दिल नहीं दूंगा, दिल ठिकाना मेरे हुसैन का है, हर ज़माना मेरे हुसैन का है। मिलके पढ़े, हर ज़माना मेरे हुसैन का है, हर ज़माना मेरे हुसैन का है। जिसकी खातिर ये कायनात बनी, जिसकी खातिर ये कायनात बनी, ऐसा नाना मेरे हुसैन का है। सारे मिलके हैदरी, ऐसा नाना मेरे हुसैन का है। मिलके, हर ज़माना मेरे हुसैन का है। और ये जो काबा है तुम न समझोगे, ये जो काबा है तुम न समझोगे, घर पुराना मेरे हुसैन का है, हर ज़माना मेरे हुसैन का है, हर ज़माना मेरे हुसैन का है। और रात से दिन जो ये निकलता है, रात से दिन जो ये निकलता है, मुस्कुराना मुस्कुराना मेरे हुसैन का है, हर ज़माना मेरे हुसैन का है। मिलके, हर ज़माना मेरे। और इस शेर पे खास तवज्जो चाहूँगा। कोई पूछे ये दौर किसका है, कोई पूछे ये दौर किसका है, तुम बताना मेरे हुसैन का है, हर ज़माना मेरे हुसैन का है, हर ज़माना मेरे हुसैन का है। और अपनी पसंद का शेर पेश कर रहा हूँ। जब से घर में सजे हैं मेरे अलम, जब से घर में सजे हैं मेरे अलम, आना जाना मेरे हुसैन का है, आना जाना मेरे हुसैन का है,
हर ज़माना मेरे हुसैन का है। और मातमी जब कोई नजर आए, मातमी जब कोई नजर आए, अरे मान जाना मेरे हुसैन का है। माशाल्लाह। जियो हैदरी, मान जाना मेरे हुसैन का है। हर ज़माना मेरे हुसैन का है। बर मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद, बुलंदतर सलावत। या इमाम ज़मां, या इमाम, आपके मुंतज़िर है ये ग़ुलाम। या इमाम ज़मां, या इमाम, या इमाम, आपके मुंतज़िर है ये ग़ुलाम। मेरे साथ मिलके पढ़ें। या इमाम ज़मां, या इमाम, आपके मुंतज़िर है ये ग़ुलाम। बुलंदाज में। या इमाम ज़मां, या इमाम, आपके मुंतज़िर है ये ग़ुलाम। लाशें उठा रहे हैं अज़ादार सुबह व शाम, लाशें उठा रहे हैं अज़ादार सुबह व शाम। सीने पे हाथ, लब पे है लब्बैक या इमाम। मिलके लब्बैक या इमाम, लब्बैक। बुलंदाज में। लब्बैक या इमाम, लब्बैक इमाम। नारा लगा रहे हैं शहादत का पी के जाम। या इमाम ज़मां, या इमाम, आपके मुंतज़िर है ये ग़ुलाम। मिलके या इमाम ज़मां, माशाल्लाह, आपके दिल से ग़मे हुसैन निकाला कभी नहीं, सर ज़ालिमों के दर पे झुकाया कभी नहीं, झुकाया कभी नहीं। जो आपसे है इश्क छुपाया कभी नहीं। या इमाम ज़मां, या इमाम, आपके मुंतज़िर है ये ग़ुलाम। या इमाम, या इमाम ज़मां, आपके मुंतज़िर ग़ुलाम। औलाद फ़ातिमा पे है अभी सितम रवां, है करबला में एक नई करबला बपा, नई करबला बपा फिर से निकल रही है। बस अब तो यही दुआ। या इमाम ज़मां, या इमाम, आपके मुंतज़िर है ये ग़ुलाम। या इमाम आपके मुंतज़िर है ये ग़ुलाम। हर शहर हर ज़मीन है आका लहू लहू, गुलशन लहू लहू है तो सहरा लहू लहू, सहरा लहू लहू। फिर से हुआ फुरात का दरिया लहू लहू। या इमाम ज़मां, या इमाम, आपके मुंतज़िर है ये गुलाम या इमाम ज़मान। हाय हाय, आपके है ये गुलाम, कसरे यजीदियत यूं ही ढाते रहेंगे हम, फिरौनियत का नाम मिटाते रहेंगे हम, मिटाते रहेंगे हम, अब्बास के अलम को उठाते रहेंगे हम, या इमाम ज़मान या इमाम। आपके मुंतज़िर है ये गुलाम, मिलके या इमाम ज़मान। जीते रहें। आपके मुंतज़िर, और मक्ता पेश कर रहा हूं, जां अपनी ये ज़फ़र दर ज़हरा पे वारना, जां अपनी ये ज़फ़र दर ज़हरा पे वारना, ना हारना ए मोमिनो हिम्मत ना हारना, हिम्मत ना हारना, अपने इमाम वक्त को यूं ही पुकारना, या इमाम ज़मान या इमाम। आपके मुंतज़िर है ये गुलाम, बुलंद आवाज़ में या इमाम या इमाम। आपके One more time with the loudest of your voices. हाँ या इमाम ज़मान या इमाम, आपके मुंतज़िर है ये गुलाम। बराए ताजील ज़हूर इमाम ज़मान आवाज़ बुलंद सलावत।
Once again, to show your appreciation, please recite another loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I've had some requests from both sister's side and the brother's side to make some a bit more extra space, inshallah. I know there is space now, but as the lecture starts, we don't want to have too much shuffling around. So I'll ask for both brothers and sisters if you can please stand up and come forward. There's space on the stage as well. Sisters as well, I know it's difficult, but if you could please stand up and just shuffle forward a little bit and make some extra space for the Zawar of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. And if you can all do that with the loudest of salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. أحسنتم باركم الله فيكم. Once again, thank you for your compliance. Thank you for helping us with this majlis of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. And without further ado, I'll invite Dr. Sayyid Ammar Nakshawani to the minbar for another invigorating lecture as part of this Muharram Majalis series. And if you can all rise up and recite the loudest of salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بسيدنا ومولانا بعبد الله الحسين عليه السلام، وجعلنا الله وإياكم من الطالبين بثأره بين يدي الإمام المنصور المؤيد المهدي من آل محمد. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وعظيمنا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع نفوسنا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وأصحابه الغر الميامين. الحمد لله الذي جعلنا من المتمسكين بولاية سيدي ومولاي علي بن أبي طالب. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. أما بعد, their hearts are like pieces of iron. They will never doubt, even if they are struck by calamities as intense as the mountains. The first of our loud salawat in honor of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. A second even louder salawat in honor of Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. A third with your loudest voices in honor of the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Asri wal-Zaman. Respected scholars, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. What are the traits of the companions of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam? What are the attributes of the companions of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam? What are the signs of the companions of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam? This topic is a topic that affects every single Muslim in the world. Whether you're Shia, Sunni, Sufi, Brelwi, Diobendi, Salafi, Wahhabi, whatever name you want to give yourself, every single Muslim in the world believes that God's plan will eventually be the victorious plan. And that plan will be the plan that will ensure that justice will be established on the earth. That justice which will be established will be the justice established by the Mahdi. Sunni and Shia do not all necessarily agree when it comes to their understanding of the Mahdi, but on many areas they come together in agreement. The reality is that all the Sunnis and the Shia in the world believe that the Mahdi will bring justice into this world. All of them believe that he is from the grandsons of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. All of them believe that he is from the line of Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam. All of them believe that he is from the grandsons of Imam al-Hasan or Imam al-Hussein alayhim salam. In other words, every single Muslim agrees on the Mahdi to a certain extent. They may differ, for example, when it comes to the area of whether he is born or he is not born. When it comes to that area, we the Shia of course believe that he is born and that he is in Ghaiba. But others, what do they believe? Others believe that no, They believe that rather Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam is not born. But everybody wants to be alongside the Mahdi. Ask any Shi'i or non-Shi'i, do you hope for the Mahdi to come? They will say yes. Do you wish that you are raised alongside the Mahdi? Yes. Do you wish that you could fight the Dajjal? Yes. Do you wish you could fight the Sufyani? Yes. Every single Muslim, therefore, yearns to be amongst the companions of Imam al-Mahdi. And when we look at the events in the world today, the Imam's time could be very near. We know, كَذَبَ الْوَقَّاتُونَ, whoever puts a time on the reappearance of the Imam is a liar. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that next year, on the 23rd night of Shahr Ramadan, we will hear that Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam has returned, or on the 10th of Muharram next year. Although we do say, Allahumma ajil faraj wali amrik. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hasten the reappearance of the Imam. But when I see the events in the news, every country that's involved in the reappearance of the Imam, in the signs, is involved one way or the other in some sort of battle, in some sort of skirmish, in some sort of agreement, in some sort of disagreement. Khurasan is involved. Yemen is involved. Iraq is involved. Palestine is involved. Jerusalem is involved. The Western superpowers are involved. Let alone the fact that the Jews have a Messiah, and the Christians have a Messiah, and the Muslims have a Messiah, which means that every religion in the world wants to know this question, or the answer to the question, and that is, what are the traits of the companions of that Messiah? If I'm a Christian, I'll say, what attributes do I need to be alongside Christ? If I am of the Jewish school, what attributes do I need to be alongside their Messiah? If I am of the Muslim school, therefore, what attributes do I need to make sure that I'm alongside Imam al-Mahdi? Because the biggest failure in my life will be if Imam al-Mahdi reappears and I wasn't even given the slightest hint by him. The true follower of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam would in one way or the other have been given some sort of idea that the Imam is returning. The sadness of all sadness would be that I do not know the Imam of my time. I do not know what the qualities of the Imam of my time, and therefore I don't make the final squad for the Imam of my time. Any football player, when they want to make a team or they want to make a squad, they will look for what are the key attributes or ingredients for them to make that squad. Likewise, I have to ask myself the question, do I have the key attributes to be with Imam al-Mahdi? Because there are many before me who loved the Imam of their time, but were not loyal to the Imam of their time. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, how many people saw him? How many heard him? How many witnessed his great moments? At Saqifa, when it happened, only 5 remained loyal with him. Only 5. Someone says, but Sayyidina, these people, how comes only 5 remained loyal? Because the reality is that a person, if they do not study what traits and what attributes are needed to be with the Imam, then it could go past them. It could easily leave them. Imam al-Hasan had companions who knew him, but they ended up stabbing him in his thigh. Imam Zayn al-Abidin says, after Karbala, there was only 3 Shia left. Other Imams of Ahlul Bayt, they had people who said, you are the Imam, but they would be amongst those who unfortunately became disloyal to the Imam. I need to make sure on a spiritual level and on a physical level, mark the two please, because they go hand in hand. A person should not be spiritual and have not looked after themselves physically. Nor should someone have looked after themselves with every bicep and tricep, but without having any spirituality whatsoever. I need to know the spiritual as well as the physical attributes needed to be alongside the Imam of my time. What is it that the Imam needs from me? And that's why I recommend for all of you, if you can, every Friday, an hour before Maghrib, try and do this. Because sometimes people do say to me, Sayyidina, look, I believe in Imam al-Mahdi, but I've got no relationship with him at all. I don't feel him in my life. I don't really feel a connection to Imam al-Mahdi. Yes, I say Assalamu alayka ya sahib al-asr wal-zaman. I know the ziyarah. I know that he was last seen in Samarra, for example. But I don't really have that connection. An hour before Maghrib, on every Friday, take a time out for 10 minutes. Read Dua Zaman al-Ghaiba. That dua is a dua for those who want to be alongside Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam. That dua begins with a fundamental line that I always try and recite on a personal level. It begins, Allahumma arifni nafsak. فإنك إن لم تعرفني نفسك لم أعرف نبيك. Oh Allah, let me know you. For if you don't let me know you, then I'll never know your prophet. اللهم عرفني رسولك فإنك إن لم تعرفني رسولك لم أعرف حجتك. Oh Allah, let me know your messenger, your Rasul. For if I don't know your Rasul, I'll never know your hujjah. اللهم عرفني حجتك فإنك إن لم تعرفني حجتك ضللت عن ديني. Oh Allah, let me know your hujjah. For if I don't know your hujjah, I will be deviated from your path. That dua, try and read it an hour before Maghrib every Friday. I don't care. You have a lab, you have dentistry, you have uni, that one has work. You all know when we want to chill on our WhatsApp for 10 minutes, no one will get in our way. A person can open up the internet at that moment, and when they open up the internet at that moment, just read that. Because ultimately, if Imam returns next week, that dua could have been the difference between being with him and not being with him. And therefore tonight, I'd like to examine with a very personal touch 7 of the key traits which I found in the hadiths of Ahl al-Bayt for the companions of Imam al-Mahdi. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen spoke about Imam al-Mahdi. Imam al-Hassan, Imam al-Hussein, Imam al-Sajjad, Imam al-Baqir, Imam al-Sadiq, Imam al-Kadhim, Imam al-Rada, Imam al-Jawad, Imam al-Hadi, Imam al-Ask, all of them discussed Imam al-Mahdi so that we did not have an excuse not to know the Imam of our time. Every Imam looked at Imam al-Mahdi, dissected what was needed, and gave us the opportunity. Tonight, I'd like to look at 7 of the key attributes. If you can implement one this Muharram, you will have made Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pleased. And you would have pleased the Holy Prophet, and you would be of those who doesn't need to say, Ya laytana kunna ma'akum, but on the contrary, would be with the Imam of their time. Let us tonight examine each and every one of this and dissect the topic in complete depth. The first of the traits of the companions of Imam al-Mahdi comes from the following hadith. The hadith states that their hearts are like pieces of iron. They never fall into any doubt, even if they are struck by a calamity as intense as the mountains. What's the first attribute? That the hearts of the companions of Imam al-Mahdi are like pieces of iron. Even if a calamity strikes them as intense as a mountain, they never have any doubts whatsoever. The last couple of years, there have been calamities left, right, and center. Don't you agree? Many times people ask the question that why is it that us, the followers of Ahl al-Bayt, face so many calamities? Why doesn't Allah just give us an easy life? 1 minute we hear martyr, shahada, people in Pakistan killed, people in Yemen killed, in Lebanon killed, in Syria killed, Afghanistan killed, Iraq killed, Iran killed. Ya Allah, why all the calamities? Those people who say, why all the calamities? You found that they have not understood the philosophy of a trial or a calamity in life. There's not a single human being in this world who has not faced a calamity in one way or the other. Not a single human being. Name me a prophet of Allah in the Quran who did not face a calamity or a trial in their life. Give me one. Just one. Have you ever seen a prophet of Allah not face a calamity in their life? Who's the first prophet of Allah mentioned in the Quran? Who's the first one? The first creation of Allah mentioned in the Quran. Who's the first one? Nabi Adam. Nabi Adam alayhi salam faced the calamity in his life. He had to face the calamity that his son wants to kill his other son. Qabil gonna kill Habil. Why did Allah place a calamity on Nabi Adam? Why doesn't Nabi Adam just live a very comfortable life, a very happy life, a very easy life? Nabi Nuh faced the calamity. He would be lecturing and lecturing and lecturing, and only very few people would listen. Not many would listen towards him. Not many would listen to a word he's saying. Nabi Nuh, that was a calamity. جَعَلُوا أَصَابِعَهُمْ فِي آذَانِهِمْ وَاسْتَغْشَوْا ثِيَابَهُمْ. They did what? They put their fingers in their ears when he would speak, and they'd cover themselves with their clothes. Nabi Nuh alayhi salam, calamities. You imagine your wife being your biggest enemy. Imagine that feeling, that your wife is your biggest enemy, and that your son doesn't come towards your path. Imagine that moment, imagine that feeling. That's a calamity. Ya Allah, why the prophets you make them go through calamities? Nabi Yaqub has all these sons and they want to stab each other in the back. Until they throw Nabi Yusuf, who faces a calamity that his own family are the biggest backstabbers. Nabi Musa, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا Nabi Musa. Nabi Musa alayhi salam, from the moment he's born, he faces calamity after calamity after calamity after calamity after calamity after calamity. What worse a calamity is there than the children of Israel and their stubbornness? How difficult was it for them? Nabi Isa sees the rabbis mock his mom and even question her integrity and her modesty, and call him the king of the Jews and mock him. And none more so than Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Has any prophet faced more calamities in his life than Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi? Name me one prophet. Rasulullah, from the day he is born, his dad, he hasn't even met him. His dad died while his mom was pregnant with him. His mom dies a few years later. The man is an orphan. The man ends up being ridiculed. The man ends up being mocked. I ask you all a question. With all those calamities that they faced, were any of them shaken by those calamities? Any of those prophets? Yes. They complained to Allah about the grief they may have faced. But were any of them and their faith shaken? Why? Because they had perspective when a calamity fell on them. When a calamity fell on them, they had a particular perspective. What was it? Number one, at the end of the day, God has given me more than He's taken away from me. And if He wants to test me in one area, He's given me a lot more in other areas. If today I am tested with a calamity, I said, Ammar, I'm tested with a calamity. I look at it with perspective that God, you've given me so much. If you want to test me with one area, so be it. Whatever you're going to test me with is anyway maybe an amana from you to me. So you might want to take that amana back. Perspective was vital in the makeup of the prophets of Allah. That whenever a calamity befell them, they didn't straight away say, you know what, I don't believe in God anymore. If God was there, He would have helped us. Where is He? Where is God? I don't want to go to the mosque anymore. No. What's the perspective on this calamity? Have I lost my job? Allah will open other doors for me. Am I not getting many people in my majlis? Allah will open other majalis for me. Am I not having my parents listen to me? Allah will open other doors for me. The prophets of God, whenever calamities befell them, they were never ever struck with a doubt on their faith. Their doubt, their yaqeen, the yaqeen was always there. And that's why Nabi Ayyub lost his children. He lost his land. He lost his wealth. And at the end, he still says, Shukran lillah. Who, when they lose all of these, would doubt Allah? There are many. In our community, by the way, in our community, When they saw calamities, for example, they saw their child die. I've met people, when their child dies, they're like, I don't want to pray anymore. I say, why don't you want to pray? Say, where's God? I said, Rasulullah, when he lost his boy, why didn't he say, where's God? How many boys did Rasulullah lose? 2, 3? What do the historical records show? Did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, God is evil? God is bad? Why is this calamity befallen me? No. Perspective. The child is an amana from Allah. Allah decided to take back the amana. When you come and tell me that I love Ahlul Bayt and I'm a follower, when one calamity strikes you and you start doubting, that's not a companion of Imam al-Mahdi. Companion of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam knows if Ahlul Bayt were tested, who am I not to be tested? If Ahlul Bayt went through calamities, who am I not to go through calamities? Therefore, on the first level, they saw perspective. On the second level, sometimes calamities make you stronger people closer to God. How many a captain of a ship will tell you, if I didn't go through the turbulent waves, I would never have been a great captain? How many in the world of finance will tell you that if I didn't go through recession or unemployment, I would never become what I became later on? Ultimately, sometimes when calamities befall us, they make us stronger. I have met people who, when they lost, for example, a child, they said that that child's period of difficulty made us closer to Allah. We started to open the Quran more than we did before. We started to read dua more than we did before. Because the human by nature, if you give them everything in the world, they forget the mosque. The moment things are difficult, everyone comes to the mosque. When everything's going swimmingly, wallah, I don't have time, too many meetings, I'm too busy. The moment it's going a bit down, is there any programs at the mosque? I want to go there to get some dua and thawab because I'm in a bit of economic trouble. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, therefore, sometimes the calamities, when they fall upon us, even if they are as intense as the mountains, the soldier of Imam al-Mahdi is not affected by a calamity. And that's why you found one of the biggest calamities that affected Islam, the Battle of Uhud. Did we win the battle or did we lose the battle? Let's be real. We didn't win the battle. The Battle of Uhud, the Muslims did not really win it. Yes, afterwards one may argue that there was a plot of the Prophet and he came out victorious. But let's be real. The Battle of Uhud, we didn't do too well in. Some Muslims began to doubt because of that calamity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if a calamity befalls you, it's befallen others before you. Just because you look on the exterior and you see something as a calamity, trust that there is a wisdom behind any calamity. That is hard, by the way. It's not easy. Believe you me, it's not easy. I sit here and a mother who's lost her child or someone who's lost their parents, it's not easy for me to tell them there is a wisdom behind this. But all I can say to them is, if you trust God is the best of planners, and you trust that the prophets of Allah became who they became, after going through calamities, they reached the highest level, then trust that whatever you're being put through, there is a greater wisdom behind it. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what does He say in the Quran? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ. We're going to test you with what? We're going to test you with times of fear and times of hunger and loss of lives, loss of wealth. Don't tell me why a calamity has happened. The Quran has already told you it's going to happen. وَبَشِّرَ الصَّابِرِينَ. But give glad tidings to the patient ones. بشر who? الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه. What's إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون? The embodiment of being strong in the face of the calamity is this one ayah of the Quran. I belong to Allah and to Allah I return. What do you think? I own this world? I'm even significant in this world. No. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi. If you live by that motto, any calamity that affects you, as soon as you say, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Ultimately, Allah created me. Ultimately, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can take my soul at any moment. I've lost my business. Let me put it in perspective. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. I have lost the deal. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. I have lost something I've yearned for. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi. If I have Allah with me, and I have the barakah of Ahlul Bayt with me, then no calamity can take away the love of Muhammad and Al Muhammad. Yes? Allahumma salli ala. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. You saw those people who lost their fingers and eyes in the pages? Hands up, how many of you seen them? Hands up. Why 50% of you have not seen them? They're not Shia like you? The pager attacks in Lebanon, fingers gone, eyes gone. You seen them or no? Hands up those who have. Those of you who haven't, don't put your hand up. If you haven't, you have to wake up and smell the coffee of the reality of this time, because you're miles away. Beautiful men and women, Shia, lovers of Ahlul Bayt. One pager took out the eyes and the fingers. What are we worried about today? What are we worried about? You know, business not going to, la'anatullah on the business, throw it away. A 25-year-old mother of two, I can't see her kids again. Solid Shia guys, solid lovers of Imam al-Hussein, cannot hold anything with their hands again. You want to know why those are soldiers of Imam al-Mahdi? Because of that first trait. Their hearts are like pieces of iron. They are never in doubt, even when struck with a calamity as intense as the mountains. They asked one of them, how are you feeling after all this? He said, my hands are to Abul Fadl. Oh no. Oh no. My hands are to Abul Fadl. My eyes are to Abul Fadl. They asked one of the wives, you miss your husband? Said, yes, a lot. Said, does he have a grave? Said, doesn't matter. Zahra doesn't have one. So if my husband has an unmarked grave, she has an unmarked grave. That attribute that I could lose my fingers, and the first person I think of is Abbas bin Ali. Others who are not soldiers of the Imam, what will they think? Why me? I'm a Muslim. I pray. I fast. A Shi'i says, to Abul Fadl it goes for what he gave to Abu Abdullah. I lose my eyes. Abul Fadl lost his eye. So if I've lost what the Lebanese answered in those calamities, only Allah knows their faith. Because the first attribute of a companion of Imam al-Mahdi, according to the Imam, is what? Is that when they are struck with a calamity as intense as the mountains. Not a normal calamity. Mine and your calamity sometimes is so basic. Their calamity when a pager rips your eyes and your fingers are gone, that's a calamity. That's a calamity. So to Abu al-Fadl it goes. To Abu Abdullah it goes. To Zainab it goes. The first attribute, therefore, that a person has to ask themselves is that when I'm struck with a calamity, how strong am I? Do I doubt, or am I so firm that I say for Allah anything? That's number one. The second attribute of a companion of Imam al-Mahdi, what is it? They judge with truth and what? They judge with truth and justice. Like the Prophet and Imam Ali alayhim as-salam. Second attribute, do you judge with truth and justice or not? There are many who say we want justice, we want justice. You want justice, you have to judge with the truth, with justice. At the back, sisters, at the back. Please, I'm asking humbly, with the movement that's happening, those of you who have next to you your son or daughter, please, if you don't mind, keep them next to you. I'm asking very humbly now. The second attribute was it? It's that you judge with truth and justice like the Prophet and Imam Ali alayhim as-salam. How many of us in situations do we judge with truth and justice? How many of us? The second trait of a companion of Imam al-Mahdi is that they will always put justice as number one. What's the highest ethic in Islamic ethics? What's the highest one? Justice is the highest ethic in Islamic ethics. Someone says, no, generosity is the highest. No, generosity can also be negative. You could be too generous. You can never be too just. Generosity is never as high as justice. Justice is the highest ethic in Islam. A person can be too generous, but they can never be too just. Never do you see anyone you're like, you know what, you're too just. Because a person's justice is the most important thing in their character. Imam says, the second sign of the companions of Imam al-Mahdi is what? Is that they judge with truth and justice like the Prophet and Imam Ali alayhim as-salam. Notice the Imam says like those two. Why? Because this world never saw anyone as just as Rasulullah and Amir al-Mu'minin salawatullah wa salamu alayhima. No one. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Those were the two most just individuals you'll ever see. Because what's justice? To put something in its right place. What's injustice? To remove something from its right place. Rasulullah and Amir al-Mu'minin. Why do we call them ma'soom? For what reason? Because amongst other reasons that I don't need to list, one of them is that they are the manifestations of Allah's justice on earth. Non-Muslims have attested to the fact, while living in the time of Rasulullah and living in the time of Imam Ali, that there was never adala like Rasulullah and Amir al-Mu'minin. How many non-Muslims at the time of Rasulullah? I ask you the question. Would you agree with me that Rasulullah's enemies used to leave their belongings with him? Why? Is their enemy? Would you leave your belongings with your enemy? The enemy will jack it and run. Sure? The enemy will steal it and go. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa his enemies used to leave their belongings and their possessions with him. Why? Because he was sadiq and he was Amin. He was truthful and trustworthy. When the Arabs used to look for a man of justice, they would come to him. Even before he announced his prophethood, he was 35. Many times we know only about his life after he announced his prophethood. Before he announced his prophethood, the Arabs had a dilemma. They rebuilt the Kaaba, the Hajar al-Aswad. They wanted to see where to put the black stone. So some of them, the Jahil Arabs, some were saying our tribe, another was saying our tribe, another was saying our tribe, another was saying our tribe, until someone said, let Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi choose because he is the most just of us. So they came to the Prophet. The Prophet could have easily, if he was unjust, because we in our nature as humans, we prefer to look after our own and not others. That's not justice. Justice, you put something in its right place. Rasulullah said, listen, all of you tribes come together, hold a part of the Hajar al-Aswad cloth, and then I will help you carry it and we will place it there. So that justice is established for all of us to be part of Hajar al-Aswad being placed there. Rasulullah's justice was impeccable with non-Muslims and Muslims. When he became the head of the state of Medina, he would say very clearly that the synagogue, the monastery, the church, the mosque, all of them have to be protected. We are going to be just. If there's anyone Jewish who has been attacked by a Muslim, then that person will be punished. Any Christian attacked by a Muslim, that person will be punished. Rasulullah, justice. Imam Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam, online you can buy a book. Imam Ali, the voice of human justice. Written by a Lebanese Christian, not a Muslim. A Muslim called Imam Ali the voice of human. A Lebanese Christian called Imam Ali the voice of human justice. George Jordak, in that book he says, non-Muslims used to look at Imam Ali and they were in awe of the justice of Imam Ali alayhi salam. No favoritism. No, this is one of my boys. No, if it happens in my family, I'm quiet. But if it happens to someone else, I'll destroy them. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam established justice with every segment of society. You all know the story. The man who Imam Ali saw his shield, the man had his shield. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib said, that shield belongs to me. The man said, I'm sorry, it belongs to me. Now the man doesn't know who this Imam Ali is. So the man says, it belongs to me. Imam says, look, I'm telling you, I know my shield. I've been through a few battles in my time. So therefore, that's my shield. Person said, we'll go to court. Imam was Khalifa at the time. Khalifa is being taken to court by a Christian in the Islamic State. Put that conundrum together in your head. In the court, the judge looks at the person, looks at Imam Ali. He says to Imam Ali, calling him by his title. Imam says, don't call me by my title. You called him by his name, call me by my name. Allah. Allah. Don't say Amir al-Mu'mineen. Don't say Abu al-Hasan. Don't say Khalifa. Just say Ali. This person, he said, okay. He said, Ali, what is it? He said, that shield belongs to me. The person said, no, it belongs to me. So then the person said to Imam Ali, the judge said, do you have any witnesses? Imam said, no. So the judge said, then I must award the case to that person. Imam said, you're right. It's okay, no problem. Imam walked away. That person, he turned around. He said, did you call him the Khalifa? He said, yeah. He said, so that's the Caliph. He said, yeah. He said, of the whole Islamic State. He said, I'm a Christian. I've taken him to court. I've had a decision go in my favor. He said, yes. He said, and he's just walked away. There's no soldiers to come and bully me. There's no guy with a shotgun outside to assassinate me. There's no sniper waiting to kill me because I've gone against the government. Some of you here may come from countries that know about those things really well. Rather, the Khalifa has just simply left. That person went to Imam Ali and said, today I saw the justice of the prophets of Allah. That I took a Khalifa to court. The Khalifa had a decision go against him. There's no bribe, there's no deceit, there's no blackmail. He just walked away accepting the decision. The second trait of the companions of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam is that they judge with truth and justice. Like the Prophet and Imam Ali alayhi salam. One of our biggest tests is when someone we don't like, we have to be just about them. When you're someone I like, I'm always going to praise you. How about if I don't like someone, but they've done something good? How difficult is it to be just about them and say something good? How many have you met who, because they don't like someone, they will not be just about them? Why? Because they don't have it in them to be truthful. A companion of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam will never be unjust to someone who deserves justice. Never. They will always make sure, and that's why people, when they ask me, what's your favorite verse in the Quran? Arguably, in my top 3 favorite verses in the Quran is Surah 4, verse 135. If every human lived by this ayah, wallah, the world will be the best place you can live in. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu. O you who claim to have iman. Not O you who believe. O you who claim to have iman. Kunu qawwamina bil qist. Be of those who establish justice. Shuhada lillah. Witnesses only to Allah. Walau ala anfusikum. Even if it's against yourself. Aw al-aqrabin. Even if it's against yourself or your near ones. Listen to the ayah again. O you who believe, be those who maintain justice, witnessing only to Allah, even if it's against who? Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu kunu qawwamina bil qist, shuhada lillah, walau ala anfusikum, aw al-walidain, aw al-aqrabin. Even if you have to be a witness about yourself, your parents, or your relatives. When someone in the community does something, I'll rip them. But when it's my parents, shh. When someone in the community does something, I'll destroy them. But when it's my cousin, you know what? I don't want to talk about him because he's my cousin. What's this injustice? The Quran said, O you who claim to have iman, be those who maintain justice. Because what is Imam Mahdi except the walking man of justice? Be those who maintain justice. Witnesses only to Allah. Forget being a witness to the community. They won't help you on Qiyamah. That's the only help you're going to get. Be witnesses to Allah, even if it's against your own self, or your parents, or your relatives. Sometimes when my parents are being unjust to someone in my family, I cannot turn around and say, because that's my parent, I will not say anything. A spade has to be called a spade. No, bro, but it's my family. It does not matter. Adala is adala. The moment you allow a domino of injustice, it starts breaking other dominoes. As Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. One bit of injustice at home, then you cannot be a soldier of Imam al-Mahdi. Imam al-Mahdi doesn't want you fighting Palestine, Syria, Iraq, when you have dhulm in your own house. So many Muslims, they want to save the world, and there's dhulm in their own house. First establish adala in your home, then go and save the world. If there is injustice in the home, you're not going to change the world. Attribute number 2. Number 3, they are lanterns in the darkness, guiding people to the truth. Allah. How many of you have guided people in this hall towards Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam? How many of you? How many of you have encouraged people to learn about Ahlul Bayt, have forwarded articles about Ahlul Bayt, have brought people towards the mosques? Wallah, my dear brothers and sisters, one of the people who make me proud are our Ahlul Bayt societies in the UK, which I know many of you have participated in. The APSOCs in the UK, I believe many of these who organize programs at the APSOCs in the UK, they are soldiers of Imam al-Mahdi. You know why? Because they are lanterns in the darkness guiding people to the truth. The third traits of the companions of Imam al-Mahdi, what are they? Lanterns in the darkness guiding people to the truth. When you organize these events at your university, I've spoken at the Manchester APSOC for now maybe close to 15, 20 years. Others, I've spoken at other APSOCs in the UK. I look at them, I'm in awe of them. Do you know why? Because in a period of darkness for our people, They are the lanterns that are doing programs in the universities. Do you know such people? These are soldiers of Imam al-Mahdi, because Imam said the third trait of the companions of Imam al-Mahdi is that in a time of darkness, what do we mean darkness? Challenges on our aqidah, challenges on the belief system, challenges on hijab, challenges on all of these areas. When a person is a lantern in a period of darkness, that is a soldier of Imam al-Mahdi. Someone says, but I'm no longer at university. Then do you know how you could be a lantern? Every week amongst each other, swap houses, even read dua kumail at each other's houses. Every week, maybe one night, do a Quran tafsir in each other's homes. Go from one place to another. If you take a friend with you to ziyarah, then you are a lantern in the darkness, because you're taking somebody and you've made. How many do you know who, when they went to Ziyarat al-Hussein, changed their life completely? How many do you know? The first time they went to Karbala, their whole life got changed completely. The third trait of the companions of Imam al-Mahdi, what is it? That they are lanterns in the darkness, guiding people towards the truth. Set up a website in the name of Imam al-Mahdi. Write a book in the name of Imam Mahdi. Write articles in the name of Imam al-Mahdi. You become a companion of Imam al-Mahdi. Number 4, their hearts are united into a single heart where they do not disagree and always dispute with one another. How many of us can claim to have that? That we are united as one heart and not as separate hearts. Sadly, wherever you go in the Muslim world today, this is one area we have not mastered. When people sometimes come and say to me, why has the Imam not returned? Sometimes I reply by saying, have you seen the disunity between the hearts of our communities? This mosque doesn't like this mosque. This Maulana doesn't like this Maulana. This Ihsaniyya doesn't visit this Ihsaniyya. This person won't go to this person's majlis. The fourth trait of the companions of Imam al-Mahdi is what? Their hearts are united into one heart. And they do not dispute and fight each other. I've seen 6 Imam Barkas within 3 miles of each other. He says, why don't you go to that one? He says, I don't follow their marja. Well, the people are taking people to the moon. Why don't you go to that one? Because I don't agree with their julus, so I'm never going to go there again. People are trying to find a cure for cancer and all of the different forms of diseases, and we are fighting as to, I don't agree with their julus. They took it out late. We go early. Why don't you go and listen to this speaker? Because I disagree with this speaker, so I will never listen. So you can't learn anything else. Only because you disagree, that means you won't learn anything else. Yes, I will never learn anything else because I disagreed once. That means everything else should be thrown away. The fourth trait of the soldiers of Imam al-Mahdi, alayhi salam, their hearts are united into one heart. All of us here, what unites us? The love of Imam al-Hussein, true? Everyone listening, what unites us? The love of Imam al-Hussein. I don't care who you follow. Wallah, I couldn't lose sleep on it. And nor should you care who I follow. You shouldn't lose sleep on it. Nor do I care if Hazrat Abbas in your mosque is night 7 and in yours is night 8 of Muharram. Nor do I care if you give timma nuqima and you give pilau and you give biryani and you give kheer and you give God knows what. Wallah, it doesn't make a single bit of difference to me. What makes a difference to me? Does your heart beat Hussein? Does your heart beat Karbala? Does your heart beat Zainab? Does your heart beat Akbar, Asghar, Qasim? That is where our hearts unite. Yes, we may have different philosophies and outlooks how to approach certain things. There's nothing wrong with that. It's cool. I have no problem with that. If a person wants to do things more academically, someone more traditionally, someone more ritualistic, but don't belittle others. Say that, listen, this is their way. They have good things they do. There may be other things I want to do in a different way. Don't be rude about fellow Shia, because what unites us is the wilayah of Amir al-Mu'mineen. That unites us. Never bring up your children to say to them, we don't go to this mosque, we only go to this mosque. Never. Say, wherever there's a majlis al-Hussein, go. Wherever there's a majlis. A companion of Imam al-Mahdi never tries to stir you to go to one place and not another. A companion of Imam al-Mahdi says, wherever Imam al-Mahdi's name is mentioned, go. Wherever Imam al-Mahdi is honored, you should go. Therefore, the fourth trait, their hearts are what? Their hearts are united, and that they will not keep disputing and disagreeing with one another. What's the fifth trait? The fifth trait, each one of them will have the strength of 40 men. I think we're going to have to improve on this slightly, huh? Each one of the companions of the Mahdi will have the strength of 40 men. Wallah, sometimes we have men in our communities, they are doing very well in terms of their strength. Others, there is not even the idea to work on their physique. Even sometimes, wallah, it's a shame. Wallah, with all of the different techniques that a person can have to exercise and to look after themselves and to strengthen themselves, and the technology, there are some who are far away. Baba, you think Battle of Jamal and Siffin, these guys, when they were fighting with Mawla, these were the strongest guys. They were lean, they were cut, they were ripped, they were shredded. I'm not saying a person has to look shredded 24/7, but at least work on the techniques of the physical. Many times within the companions of Imam al-Mahdi, you only hear the spiritual. Imam said, no, their strength is the strength of 40 men. How many of the Shia have you seen? We took on superpowers. We made them run. Those who made them run, you think that person was sluggish, not looking after themselves? That person, you want him on a horse, he'll control the horse. Tank, he'll control the tank. Any weapon, ready to control. No fear. Companion of Imam al-Mahdi, their fifth attribute, what is it? Their fifth attribute, and the most important, is that a person of the male soldiers, and I'm going to add this, even the female, that a person works on themselves and their physique and their eating and their health. I'm seeing that there are some who focus on this, but others have neglected it. It's a shame. Let us go out and we will do azadari and we'll do matam and so on and so forth, and you'll look at some of us and you'll be like, come on, bro. If you're going to take that off, at least look good in it. Look good, bro. If you are going to do it, yallah, you want to do it, do it. You think it's going to help the cause of Imam al-Hussein, do it. No problem. Do it. But at least look like someone who's a soldier, not a soldier for Nahari. Or a soldier for some Magdi's meal. Or you're just looking and you're just like, what happened, man? Ali ibn Abi Talib at Khaybar, and then we got to this guy? What went wrong? What went wrong? Karrar, Layth. I'm the one whose mother named him Haydar. Haydar al-Karrar. And at the end, Haydar al-Karrar soldiers who are saying, Ya Hussein, and you're looking like, come on. Ya Hussein? That's Habib, that's Muslim, that's the companions. Come on. Surely a person would make sure that they are stronger than this. A person would make sure that they are the best. Sixth trait of Imam al-Mahdi's companions, what is it? They won't only be Arabs, they will come from every part of the world. Never forget, there are Christians today who may join Imam al-Mahdi. There are non-Muslims today who may join Imam al-Mahdi. Why? The moment they see the message of justice, they'll say, that's the man we want. How many people have you seen today when Iran stood the way it stood? How many of you seen said, I'm not Muslim, but credit to Iran? Why? Because they saw a country stand up against bullying. When a human sees this, he won't have to be Arab. He could be a good non-Muslim who has a pure heart. And that when they've seen injustice, they will join Imam al-Mahdi's armies, not just made up of Arabs. Imam al-Mahdi, anyone like Rasulullah. One side Salman, another Bilal, all of them were welcome. The seventh trait, what is it? They are like monks in the night and lions in the day. They love worship and they love prayer. A person who does not pray salah will never be with Imam al-Mahdi. I will put this to you in writing. Don't tell me you love Imam al-Hussein, you care for Imam al-Hussein, you go to... Throw that all away. I'm telling you. A person who says, I love Imam al-Hussein, but cannot stand up for the salah of the Lord of Hussein will never be with the grandson of Hussein. There are many Shia, by the way, at the moment. Many who don't pray. We have a problem. At the moment, there's a generation, we have a major problem. A major problem. Very comfortably can all be on a night out, chilling for 3-4 hours. 1 out of 7 of them will pray Maghrib. The others comfortably will stay sitting until it gets qadha by the time they've got home. Go and stand in the street. Pray in the street. What do you mean pray in the street? People pray in the street. Imam al-Hussein's companions protected him with the arrows hitting their bodies so he could pray. Monks in the night, they might pray Salat al-Layl. Incorporate that in your life. Namaz al-Shab. 1 rak'ah. Just 1. Don't pray Salat al-Layl every night. We can chill every night. Enjoy life. Enjoy it. Just 1 night, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, Salat al-Layl. That's it. 1 night of the week. Because the companions of Imam al-Mahdi, they love worship and they love prayer. Why? Because they followed the companions of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Companions of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. There is this narration that talks about Imam on that final night before the 10th of Muharram. Said, Ya Allah, you know how much I love reading the Quran. You know how much I love reading dua. And you know how much I love prayer. One final night for me and my companions to be able to talk to you, O Allah. Do you know what made Habib and Muslim and Abis and John and Zuhair, do you know what made them special? Was that those guys, even on the night before they died, they loved being in salah, talking to Allah. Many of us would be scared, tomorrow I'm going to die. Those guys, they say you could hear them like the humming of the birds. Yes. You look one way, you see Habib ibn Madahir doing tasbih. And you look another way, Muslim bin Awsaja reading Quran. And you look another way, John has the mark of sujood. And you look another way, Anas ibn al-Harith in his old age talking to Allah. And what we said was, As-salamu ala al-Hussein. Wa ala Ali ibn al-Hussein. Wa ala awlad al-Hussein. Wa ala ashab al-Hussein. Ashab al-Hussein, all of those 7 traits they had. Calamity struck them, they were as intense as a mountain. 30,000 versus 72, 82, 92, whatever number. Did you see any of them flinch? Were they all Arab? No. Did they have the strength of 40 men? Yes. Were they lanterns in darkness? Oh, yes. Those were lanterns in darkness. Were their hearts disunited? No, united in the love of that leader. What a leader. And these men, each one of them, taught us a lesson in what it means to be loyal to the Imam of your time. Where do you begin? With who? With who do you begin? One of them is Majnoon al-Hussein. He is Majnoon. He is insane with the love of his Imam. Another of them, even while he's dying, he's not concerned about himself. أوصيك بهذا الغريب. All I tell you is look after that stranger. He's got a sword in his chest. And he says, all I care is look after that gharib of Karbala. And wallah, each and every one of them, when they went out, they made Imam al-Hussein proud. Even if, when I read the maqtal, sometimes, I read the whole maqtal, the whole of the maqtal, and sometimes I only read parts. You look at their poetry before they died. And it shows you, if it was me, I don't know how ready I'd be. With them, it's just like, wow, what a moment. I'm going to die next to the grandson of Rasulullah. John, Imam al-Hussein said, John, you've served us for many years. He said, no. Don't say that. He said to him, but you are of old age now, John. Leave it. He said, Abu Abdullah, no. You got to let me go. Because, he keeps telling them, don't, please. And they're like, no, you have to let me. Please, you have to. John, you're old. You have served all our family. He's like, please let me go. I want to be proud in front of your mother that I gave my life away. And he looked at all of them. He's a black Abyssinian slave. The soldiers of an imam, any imam, there's no racism. All are welcome. كيف ترى الكفار ضرب الأسود بالسيف ضربا عن بني محمد أذب عنهم باللسان واليد أرجو بها الجنة يوم المورد. How do these disbelievers see the strike of a black man? How confident must you be to talk like that to them? These guys have all got arrows about to shoot you. But when you die on the path of Ahl al-Bayt, nothing scares you. He came out and said, how do you see the strike of a black man? With a sword, I'll defend Muhammad's family. I'll annihilate my tongue and my arms for them. All I want is to be next to them in Jannah. And they struck him. And when he fell, Imam was the one who came near him. And Imam placed his cheek on his cheek. And John looked and his final words were, how lucky I am that the grandson of Rasulullah's cheek is on my cheek when I die. That's one. Then there was a 12-year-old boy. All of a sudden, he came running out. 12-year-old. Because Imam al-Mahdi's army, there's no age limit. Imam al-Hussein's army, no age limit. You want to be a soldier of Imam al-Hussein, you could be 6 months old. Or you could be 95. A 12-year-old ran out. Imam al-Hussein said, come back, where are you going? He said, my mother said to me, all the other mothers have given a son. And she said, you've got to go and make Fatima al-Zahra proud. So Imam al-Hussein said, no, come back, go back to your mom. Don't worry, you're young, you don't have to fight. He went back, the mom came, said, Abu Abdullah, please, I want him to be from your ashab. 12-year-old boy comes out in front of the army of Yazid, 12 years old. He looks at them and he says, Amiri Hussein. وَنِعْمَ الْأَمِيرُ. My leader, my prince is Imam al-Hussein. And what a leader. سرور فؤاد البشير النذير. He is the one who brought happiness to the guide that is the Prophet. Ali wa Fatimatu walida. Ali and Fatima are his parents. فَهَلْ تَعْلَمُونَ لَهُ مِن نَظِيرٍ. Do you find an equal to him alive? They cut that boy into pieces. Wahab, when he came out, he had just recently been married to his wife. He told his wife, he's like to her, listen, I cannot leave Abu Abdullah alone. She's like, but we got married 2 weeks ago. Do you have to fight? And he was like, you're gonna have to let me fight. And she was like, surely not, please stay behind. He said to her, look, God will reward us for this. She said, but we've only just got married. And he kept on walking and he was looking back because he had a soft heart and he's looking at his wife. She's standing there and she's got a tear coming down. And he kept on going and he looked at her and she was going like this, and then he continued and he looked around and then he heard a voice, go out and fight with the pure ones. He turned around to her and he said to her, what made you change your mind? She said to him, two things made me change my mind. He said to her, what are they? She said to him, the first of them, I heard the children call out, Al-Atash, Al-Atash, Al-Atash. I heard the children call out, Al-Atash, Al-Atash, Al-Atash. He said to her, what about the second thing? She said to him, when I was in doubt about you going out, I turned around and I saw Abu Abdullah standing there alone. I heard him whisper, Hal min nasirin yansuruna. Is there any helper to help us? My heart broke when I saw. Go out and fight amongst the pure ones. Each of Ashab al-Hussein, each of them gave their lives away for the Imam of their time. But one in particular, his story breaks our heart. The story of Zuhair ibn al-Qayn, companion of Imam al-Hussein. Zuhair ibn al-Qayn at the beginning wasn't on the side of the Imam, and then his wife said to him, Abu Abdullah calls you, how could you not be with him? By the afternoon of the 10th of Muharram, Zuhair was very loyal to the Imam. It was Zuhair's turn to come out. Zuhair came out, he looked at the opposition, he said to them, Ana Zuhairun wa ana ibn al-Qayni. أذوبكم بالسيف عن حسين إن حسينا أحد السبطين من عترة النبي الزكي الزين ذاك رسول الله غير المين يا ليت نفسي قسمت قسمين. Zuhair ibn al-Qayn came out, he fought valiantly until they came and struck him so many times. As he was dying, he called out, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Imam al-Hussein, when he came out to protect Zuhair, he cursed the killers and he said, may Allah raise them as monkeys and pigs on the day of judgment for what they've done to his body. I wonder how many pieces they chopped the body of Zuhair for Imam al-Hussein to say that. I'm going to leave you with this narration. It breaks my heart. I hope it breaks your heart as well. It was the night of the 11th of Muharram, Sham Ghariban, and all of these bodies were on the ground in Karbala of the companions of Imam al-Hussein. Daylam, Zuhair ibn al-Qayn's wife, she was in the tent. While she was in the tent, many of the ladies were asleep. Some were crying, but the rest were asleep. Daylam, she woke up from her sleep. She turned around to her servant. She said to her servant, can you do me a favor? The servant said, what is it? She said to her, my husband Zuhair. She said, yes. She said, here's a piece of cloth. Go and look for his body. When you see his body, I want you to cover his body with this cloth. I cannot take that he's out there and there isn't even anything to cover his body. The servant went out towards the battlefield to look for Zuhair's body. Then the servant came back shortly afterwards to Daylam. Daylam said to the servant, did you cover his body? The servant said, forgive me, I never covered his body. At that moment, Daylam said, why? She said, as I was coming to cover his body, I saw the holy body of Abu Abdullah lying there with no one to cover him. I said to myself, how could I cover the body of Zuhair while the son of Rasulullah lies with no one to cover his body? Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Ya Allah, raise us with the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman. Allow us to emulate the companions of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Allow us to be amongst the companions of the Imam of our time, the originators of this majlis. Ya Allah, raise them with Muhammad and Al Muhammad. Let us all recite a dua all together, my dear brothers and sisters, especially for those who face difficulties at this time. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. أَمَّا يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ. All together. أَمَّا يُجِيبُ أَمَّا يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ. أَمَّا يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ. أَمَّا يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the Surah Al-Fatiha, but before it the loudest of your salawat.